Another question. This seller that was sacrificed, was this the same priest that was with you in the church?
Yes.
Lady Celine thinks about it for several more minutes and then literally throws up her hands and sighs and says, I am tired of being in the dark. We don't even know what we're fighting against. And she looks to Mika and says, I think it's time, little one, that we try to remove your curse so that you can actually tell us what we're doing.
For the first time ever, Pearson agrees 100% with Lady Celine.
Mika would look hopeful and she would say, I would love nothing more. I really would. But we can't stop hunting the stones. We need to stop them from being used. Every day they're... And Lady Celine would hold up a hand and say, we don't even know if that's what we should be doing. She looks at the rest of you and says, surely you all can understand. While I don't doubt our young little friends want to help us, we don't even know if gathering the stones would play right into our enemies, because obviously I'm convinced now there is some force opposing us, but gathering the stones may simply be playing into their hands. We don't know.
Exactly. If the same thing could control what Mika and her brother can and cannot say, perhaps they too can manipulate a lie out of someone who doesn't even want to lie. Besides, ignorance, I mean, not understanding what we're getting into already caused one stone to be used.
It's true.
Mika will slump down in utter defeat, and she'll say, like, literally sobbing, she's like, I know what you're saying, but we need those stones. We can't let others use them. And then she just starts sobbing, like, utterly defeated.
We have to break the curse.
Has to be a thing.
Yep. So, Lady Celine, do you know how to? Do you have any idea?
Lady Celine looks thoughtfully and says, perhaps it wouldn't be easy, and there's no guarantee of success. Oh, success? Wow. Wow. Success.
There's no guarantee of sex? Fuck it, I'm out of here.
But I'm not
Come
even
on, wife,
sure.
Let's go.
She sighs and she says, obviously I will do my best, but I can't guarantee it, and I'm not even sure it's the proper course of action for all of us to pursue. And she throws up her hands again and she says, the way I see it, there's 100 things that need to be done, and I don't even know what direction to go, and I'm tired of stumbling in the dark. She looks at you guys after a while and she says, however, I must not forget or to commend you for the job you've done so far. I must say I was hesitant when I had you before me, and I'm glad that my judgment paid off. You have been proven friends of the city. Unfortunately, I need your help more. The secrecy that's required to solve this crisis, and I am quite convinced it's a crisis now. It leaves me with few options. The problem is I don't even know the best course of action to pursue. The way I see it, there are 3 things that we need to do, and we need to do them all, and I don't have the manpower. So, since I can't seem to make up my mind on what would be the best course of action, I'll simply lay before you all the tasks and leave it to your judgment which one to pursue, or even if those are the proper ones to pursue. First, though, let me say thank you. And the magical items that I lent you are now your payment. Use them well. And in addition, you are now considered friends of the Duchess, meaning the guards of this town will tend to look the other way, since you are friends of mine. It doesn't give you leave to do whatever you wish. Our Baroness can only do so much, but you will find less hassles in your life.
Keen will bow deeply.
Yeah, Finn will do the same.
Cole will do similarly just because everyone else is doing it.
Jarek's face twitches.
And Cullimore, although he will never bend a knee or bow, will, oh dear God, look at his wife and then just give like a
she's not in the room.
solemn no. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Then Cullimore does nothing. Gives a nod.
Keen will rib both Jarek and Cullimore. Grumble all you want.
Keen's a new wife.
Celine raises her hands and says, "It's
Cole
fine."
gets up, like, pops up immediately and notices everyone's still down, and he just kind of looks around confused.
Lady Celine says, "Master Keen, it's perfectly fine. Not everyone is the same, nor do I expect everyone to behave the same. Here are the tasks I lay before you, and I leave it in your best interests, in your best judgment to choose which ones to take. Firstly, we have to get the stones. Whether we know if it's our best course of action or our worst course of action, what we do know is someone out there is making some sort of play. And every day that those stones are in the hands of others who could use these wishes, we draw ever closer to some sort of disaster. I don't like moving around in the dark, but perhaps getting the stones and bringing them together is the best course of action. Secondly, there is the ritual to try and remove the curse from Mika and Trip so that they can tell us what we need to know. Unfortunately, I make no promises to being able to do it. I'm sure with your help, I'll be working on this, whatever you choose to do. But I'm sure the chances of success will be greater with your help. Unfortunately, there is the very real possibility that we could run around wasting time trying to cure something that is beyond our control, and might not be the best use of our time. And lastly, if there really is a force moving against us, we need as much information about them as we can possibly get. And the only thing I can see right now that might even give us a hint as to who we're facing is the ritual last night. Finding out what happened, what actually occurred. Did Seller die? Is he still alive? I don't know what that ritual was designed to do, but I can tell you a ritual could definitely kill someone within the circle, or make it look like it killed someone within the circle, or perhaps the ritual backfired and didn't work properly. The only thing I am convinced of is that that priest is at the center of this.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences. I have one suggestion for the first plan of action you suggested, Lady Celine, which is gathering the stones. We can all acknowledge that they are powerful. We do not know if it's best to bring them together because that's what someone wants. Would it be a good idea for us to relieve them from dangerous hands and put them into trusted hands, hands that don't know where the other ones are, therefore the power isn't tempting? If they all come together in one place, it's dangerous, but if we secure them and isolate them, perhaps we can protect them without creating a greater threat.
Lady Celine laughs sweetly, but kind of exasperatedly, and says, "The one thing I have learned from magical items is to never assume the best course of action. What you say makes sense, but for all we know, bringing the stones further apart could be the problem. Bringing them together could be our best course of action. We just don't know. The only thing we do know is that, as you said, in untrusted hands, they are greater danger than not." She throws her hands up again and says, "Which is why this is so frustrating. I don't know which course of action is best. I don't know if Seller is an enemy or a weapon. It's possible that he was involved in this somehow. It's possible that he was a weapon that they feared. After all, you said he was in the church. The church was staked out before you got there, meaning that you probably weren't the target of the stakeout. And I don't think it's a coincidence that his family was targeted. For all we know, this entire ritual could have been an elaborate ruse to get rid of the priest. I just don't know."
That is starting to ring true. I don't believe in coincidences, and it was a hell of a coincidence. Out of all the innocent people they could pick, they picked him. Plus, with all due respect to Seller, whether he's dead or not, he didn't really blend in with us, but Brother Seafy didn't seem to pay it any mind.
It's true.
Lady Celine sighs and she says, "I will devote whatever resources I can to whatever you choose not to do."
Quick question to you, DM.
Mm-hmm.
When Cullimore asked for God, what's his name? Seller.
Mm-hmm.
Seller to say a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
He said a prayer quietly, but so Cullimore could hear. Did I get a name of a god that he incanted?
No. Not one... He said a name, but not one you recognize.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
He did say the name of something, but the thing is also with 13th Age, there's 100 different gods. So, yeah.
All right. Okay.
And she says, like I said, I will be working on a way to remove Mika's curse no matter what we choose. And with any luck, perhaps we can do something, investigate the priest or gather the stones and still break the curse. I just don't know. The only thing I do know is time is of the essence.
All right.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm tired of not knowing what these stones do.
I agree.
I mean, the end goal is to get these stones, but not knowing what they can do, their power, everything is really, really bothering me.
Yeah.
Lady Celine taps her finger and she says, "If that is if that is the ultimate goal, then the decision that needs to be made is: do we risk trying to solve a ritual that we may not be able to solve, or do we investigate the priest? Either way could yield us information. Neither of them are assured."
Okay. Well, it's best not to think on an empty stomach, and I don't know about you, but we haven't I haven't eaten in quite some time. How about we have dinner and discuss it afterwards?
She laughs sweetly again and says, "You mean breakfast, my dear Colomore. Breakfast."
Cullimore looks up at the sun and goes, yes, didn't eat
Perhaps-
for quite some time.
Lady Celine then looks at you guys and says, "Perhaps you have the right of it. Clara," and then Clara will come back in the room, "Yes," and Lady Celine will be like, "Is the girl okay?" And Clara will be like, "She's sleeping soundly. I can't see anything that's wrong with her." And then Lady Celine says, "Our party is very, very tired. Perhaps we can let them rest for the day," and then she looks back to you guys. "We can convene later after you've all rested and choose the best course of action."
Sounds like a good idea.
That sounds good to me.
Finn's actually, if you notice, is standing up still, but his eyes are closed and he's probably asleep.
That goes for it. Yeah. I think that might be a good idea. Tired minds don't yield much fruit.
Yes.
Very well. And then you hear from the kitchen, "Mom, Danielle's eating the cookies again."
Oh, God, Danielle! Behave, we have guests.
So, unless if you guys want to talk about anything particular, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going to roll through the day and kind of explain. Obviously, you guys have a good breakfast. Clara's a very good cook. The daughters apparently helped out with it. While you
Actually,
eat...
Cullimore would help her out
Oh,
as well.
okay.
Oh, please. In the Cullimore household, it's an agreement. Actually, you guys maybe would probably get this vibe since I'm assuming, unless you go somewhere else to stay, but it's a very egalitarian relationship between Cullimore and Carla, and the fact that, like, when he's home, he chips in with everything type of thing. Like, he's a domesticated man, so to speak. So he'll help with breakfast, he'll help with cleaning up the fucking blood that's scooped everywhere. He'll probably be the last to sleep because, safe holes or not, this is still technically his home and he has some pride in it. But and of course, maybe after people sleep during a mealtime or something, Cullimore will make sure to give proper introductions to both to both Carla and his daughters, Samantha and Danielle. We don't have to roleplay that, but just to make it, everyone knows everybody.
I will say this, though, that over the course of breakfast and the day, Samantha seems a bit... She's 12. She seems a bit withdrawn, but she curiously watches all of you. Danielle, on the other hand, will, for example, plop right onto Cole's lap and start asking him questions like, "Are you an orc?"
Yeah, if things get too uncomfortable, I'll have to just take her away and remind her the proper conduct with strangers, but only if you guys seem uncomfortable, because Kalmor
would
is tired.
actually try to sit like on the floor next to the girls and just kind of wait until they did anything.
They
Wow.
Don't
they
throw
would
them.
sit next to you exactly like you
Oh,
and
got
look
it.
up at you, trying to imitate what you're doing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I will start doing small gestures.
And they will do everything you do.
Aw.
I will then place my hands on the floor and do a handstand.
Don't do that. You'll break your neck.
Danielle looks at that, looks at you, and says, "No fair," and crosses her arms and stomps away. And then she goes to another member of the party, and no one, not even Jarek, is safe from her
No, Derek's
questioning.
gone. Jarek doesn't sleep. I'm not staying here.
Oh, okay.
Let's go have breakfast.
All right,
Cole-
Jarek goes.
Where'd Jarek go?
Keen probably wouldn't stick around either.
will go back down to his cross-legged stance and look over at the other young girl.
Yeah, and then basically, Carla will also tell you guys that any of you who wish to stay here, of course, the accommodations are not the best, but there are clean linens, and you can rest here as long as you need. And she seems very, very cheerful, but she keeps, whenever Pearson's not looking at her, kind of mooning over Pearson. But whenever he is looking at her, she is all business. So, and that's pretty much how the day goes. If there's anything you guys want to talk or role play as the day goes on, that's great. Or we can like start again either that evening or the next morning, whenever you guys. Lady Celine, by the way, will leave during the course of the day and come back whenever you're ready to rested and ready to make choices and stuff.
Okay.
So
Well,
is
I'd
he
like-
just?
sorry.
No, I was just trying to gain who all stays. I know Cole and I stay. Is there anyone else? The fairies?
Kalmor does.
Oh yeah, the Mika and Trip actually. I did forget about that. Before they leave, Lady Celine will have a conversation with Mika and Trip and say, "I want you two to know that if we're going to break this curse, I'm going to have to understand its limits and what it makes you do, and that will not be pleasant for you." And both the fairies agree emphatically, kind of the impression of anything, whatever it takes, just get rid of this thing. And the fairies actually go off with Lady Celine.
Alright.
The daughter sleeps throughout the whole day, soundly. She wakes up around maybe dinner time, and
Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, we should do that. So she wakes up around dinner time and sits up and looks around. She's in the room. I don't know who would be the first person to walk into the room. She's just going to sit in the bed, not sure what to do.
It could be fair to assume that we all take turns maybe just quickly checking in on her.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if anyone really wants to, like, if Finn, if you really want to, we can say it was you that was doing it.
Otherwise,
Like
I can
that
roll a
you're
die.
checking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
why don't
also
you roll a die? Because I think we'd all just take turns kind of being like, is she okay?
All right.
Yeah.
So the people that are there that matter, because we're not going to do Carla or the girls. We'll do Cole,
Just D3.
Finn, and yeah. So.
Finn 1, Cole 2, Kalmor 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Cole.
Cool. Throws her.
Yay!
So you see her sit up and she looks around frantically, not knowing where she is.
I will slowly walk over, pull up a chair, and sit down, and just kind of waits until there's any sort of language that, or any sort of body language that he might understand.
She looks at you and she recognizes you, so she calms down a bit, but she looks very, very fearful. And then she mouths the words, "Papa," like as a question.
I am no papa.
Oh,
God.
She shakes her head. She shakes her head and points like desperately, like she starts getting really, really worried, and just points to herself and says again, "Papa," or she doesn't say, but mouths, "Papa."
Cole Cole is almost just like all but just kind of like a silent groan and roll of the eyes, and will get up and we'll get Finn and
Person?
Pearson and go. She's asking about her father.
Oh,
Finn will just Finn just goes pale, paler than normal.
All right, Cullimore will enter the room. Oh boy. And he's gonna ask Carla to give him a hand with this.
Okay, Carla will
Finn-
go with you, and
Finn will be in there. He just doesn't know what to say.
Carla
Okay.
will sit next to the young girl and start trying to soothe her. And the girl keeps mouthing the same word over and over.
All right. And
Look, they're not my character's problem.
Cullimore will say, "Can you understand what we're saying?"
She nods.
Okay. I'm sorry, but your father is gone. He sacrificed his life to make sure the man who hurt you would never hurt anyone ever again. I'm sorry to tell you like this.
She, upon hearing your words, her face becomes one of agony and despair, and she starts crying uncontrollably, and her mouth is open in a silent scream, and Carla holds her for a long time, and let's skip about an hour ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
Past
jeez.
the immediate mourning period, that's probably a good idea.
And then, so after that, when she starts calming down, and Carla was still holding her, and then she looks around, still kind of scared and sad and confused, and then she points to herself, and then shrugs at you guys.
Cullimore asks, "Did your parents ever teach you how to write?"
She shakes her head.
Okay. Well, out of curiosity, what's the approximate age? What does she look like?
She looks like
How-
she's about 16.
16.
Mhm.
Okay. Cullimore says, "This is Carla. She's my wife. I have 2 daughters, Samantha and Danielle. You are old enough to decide what you want to do, but if you wish, I talked to Carla about this, and you can stay with us for as long as you need to. You'll be in a safe place. You'll have other people around. We can help you try to communicate with other people. We can maybe even try to teach you to read. I don't want to speak for you, Carla, of course, and you have enough, hands full with the girls, but
No, just assume Carla agreed with whatever. You guys
Okay.
talked about this, and yeah.
we can help you. We'll help you as much as we can."
The seller's daughter looks around at both of you, and then she very slowly nods, and kind of numbly nods yes.
Lady Celine also is a ally, so know that you're protected by the patron of the city.
She nods again, and then kind of curls her knees up under her chin, and just kind of sits there and puts her head against her knees.
I think it's more Pearson kind of saying this to Finn and Cole and be like, "I think it might take her a while to process all of this. I don't think we can say much more to console her."
Carla says, "Oh, do you have a name, young one?"
That's also important.
And she looks up and she nods. And Carla says, it's like she hesitates, like she's not sure.
What is it? Can you
Do you
describe
know-
it to us?
Know what it is, and she looks and like trying to think of a way, and then she just shrugs and starts to tear up again.
We can worry about that later. I mean,
She starts to tear up even more.
we're now.
Okay, all right, okay. You know what? I have an idea. Danielle, Samantha, can you come in here for a second?
The little girls will scamper in.
Girls, we are going to play a very fun and very important game, okay? It's called Questions, and Danielle, you're very good at this. What we're going to do is that this young girl here, our new friend, she's either going to nod yes or shake her head no. And we're going to try to guess what her name is. and the person who gets it is going to win a prize. Okay?
The girls say, jump up and down excitedly, yay!
And I'm hoping some of the enthusiasm will weigh on the girl. And he goes, okay, that'll start, and then you can take it from here.
All right, and just out of character, or DM, you guys are not throwing this one back on me. You're gonna have to choose a name for her because I don't have one.
Okay.
So
Sure.
for the one time and one time only, you have control of your own daughters.
Sweet. Hey, sweet. Okay, well, we'll make it a group decision, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyways, for the sake of role play, he'll be like, is it the name of a flower?
Right.
And then she can say yes or no. So, what do we want her name to be? Let's name the mute girl.
Oh God.
Keen.
Let's
Keen.
name-
Name the girl. Name
Oh
the
God,
girl
I thought
for
you
us.
said Key, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Keen.
No. It's the three of you are the ones who are there. This one,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's
Cool.
it. I'm just taking out the random generator. This is what Inferno does for his actual names.
Sure.
Real names, we're going to use English names because they're easy. Female names, Sky, Ashanti, Sierra.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and make sure it's a name that could be guessed through yes and no questions. Because, for example, Felicity, who would ever get that from a yes? And
I don't
no?
know.
Sky could be one that you could
Yeah.
answer yes or no.
2 words.
Sky, yeah, I bet you Sky. I bet you Sky they'd be able to guess. I kind of like the name Sky. Sierra is the name of a color. Destiny.
Yeah,
Patience.
good, like,
Her name
name
could be
it.
Patience. Her name could be Patience. They could guess Patience.
Hmm.
Lily. Rosa. I'm naming names. You guys.
I like Sky. Okay, that
I'll
was
go with Sky.
that was the one that I
Sky.
run.
Go with Sky.
Okay.
Her name's
Then
Sky.
after several minutes, you one of your daughters finally guesses Sky, and Sky nods her head emphatically.
We'll make it Samantha that guessed it because
okay.
Danielle can't win everything.
Yeah. So Samantha guessed it, and Sky nods her head, and she actually seems a little more cheerful than she was before.
Yeah.
I think the little girl's infectious charm. So.
Yes.
So her name is Sky.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, we'll let Sky worry. Kind of process everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I suggest maybe we should. Do we, as players, want to confer what the heck to do next, or do we want to do that in character while talking to Lady Celine? You know what I mean? Do we want to just chit chat now to figure out what the hell we want to do first?
Cole is going to be in an empty room at the moment.
Oh.
But I think
That-
you meant like just as players, not as in character. Like, do you guys?
Oh,
wanna
in
talk
characters?
about- out of
Not
character,
in
yeah.
characters, out of characters. Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Well,
And I should also make it very, very clear, it's completely in your court. If there's a fourth option you guys think is more important,
yeah.
it's completely in your control. She doesn't know what to do first, so.
Well, how about this? How about we just wrap up the last in character little bits here at the homestead? Maybe have, Jarek and Keen do whatever they want to do separately, and then maybe we'll all confer together in character what to do next with Lady Celine.
Sure,
Maybe that'll be simplest.
sure.
Groovy? Okay.
Is there anything anyone needs to do before that?
Well,
Before
Cole
the
made
game?
a notice that he wasn't in the room, so...
Right.
Yeah, I think Finn would go look for Cole.
If you've checked any simple room next to where the kitchen was, or I'm assuming everyone was housed, you will probably see Cole sitting on whatever he can sit at, a bed, a chair, and slouched over, probably away from the doorway.
Oh. Cole? Everything okay, buddy? Finn will poke his
You
head in.
hear a loud... You hear a loud sniff, and
Well.
he sort of waves Finn if he would like to join.
Finn goes over and kind of peers around looking at him.
He is snot-faced and streaming tears.
Oh, Finn's gonna kneel down in front of him and kind of fumble around, see if he has anything to kind of wipe Cole's face. Just very caringly, and then
Use
just
the
kind of
weasel.
He's not going to use the weasel. The weasel's been through enough, I'm sure, with Lady Celine. He'll probably just end up taking like his sleeve and like trying to like clean up his face a bit, and then like sit next to Cole and put his hand like on his back. Like, it's okay. I know it's sad. Are we crying about the girl?
He says the worst part is I can't even fathom losing somebody that important to me.
Oh, and then Finn will just put his head on Cole's shoulder and just not say anything. He doesn't know what to say. But he's there for you, buddy.
With that, he does clear up in the general few minutes.
Mm. Finn will stay by his side until he's sure Cole's fine.
And we'll stand up and and almost just kind of walk back and forth in the room, kind of hopping slightly. Probably it looks like somebody who's trying to like if you saw somebody trying to get ready for something that's really important, like that's trying to just amp himself up for any particular reason.
Oh. Finn will
not like going like just kind of like with almost solemnly, but every once in a while we'll kind of like hop a bit.
Finn will let Cole do what he needs to do.
Look, we probably need more important scenes. He's going to be doing his own thing for a while.
Yeah. We can continue on, guys.
Okie dokie.
Go on, Keen, be a bounty hunter.
Get bounties, the quicker picker
Yeah.
upper.
Okay, do you guys that are sending me messages in Skype, am I allowed to also bring them to light, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. No? Are you sure, Grim?
Yes.
Because it's going to confuse a lot of people.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Okay. Keen just went home for a well-deserved rest after checking on Caleb, who is his business partner, who is doing well, by the way. He wonders where you've been, and if you choose to tell him, he will take it all in stride and be like, cool. Not say that, but kind of like the nice, had a good time.
Dude, he's been my best friend since we were 8.
And honestly, while what you've been through, the horror of it can't really be conveyed through words. So when you describe it, it kind of comes off as, yeah, been there, done that kind of thing. So he's like, cool, and then he gets some sleep, and then you'll be back the next morning.
Yeah, I'm kind of like kind of embellishing it a bit, telling it like a story, to him.
Right. Okay. And and the thing is, he knows you're embellishing it. You've been friends forever.
Yeah.
So he assumes, and the funniest part is, he probably assumes the true parts are the parts you're really embellishing.
Yeah. No, really. There were 2 huge-ass rock elementals. Yeah, sure.
And then he kicked him into the trap. Sure he did. Okay. And then, Grim, like I said, you are welcome to try what you suggested. Yes.
Sure. It's gonna be like about like 2:30 in the morning. Then that Jerry's gonna like show up at like the front of the safe house, and he's gonna like study the door, and he's gonna look at it, and he's gonna go, "Fuck this! I ain't waking anyone up." Knock. Just fucking force open the door.
Oh my god.
And like a goddamn ninja, like he doesn't slam open, just like opens it quietly. The magic slips through the lock, and he like creeps into Coalhaven's safe house. And goes,
No. As you walk into the door, sitting about 5 feet from the door, is the figure of Lady Celine saying, "Oh, you came here early too." Like, the nervous smile is gone, so it's just like back to him being dour. You're like no cloak, but still the robe, like, my lady, Master Jarek. And Jarek like looks down at like all of the books and like some of like the like ritual like ingredients he like brought, just like stacks of like herbs and like silver dust, and says,
If you don't mind, I'm going to do a few things. We can talk later if you would like, my lady, if that's acceptable.
She says, absolutely, I do have a request, though. I was told earlier that you found a belt of some kind that was magical.
Jarek said,
Yes,
along with that, Jarek, because Jarek's like fucking written this off. Like he isn't reading these stupid scrolls. He's not looking at the belt of features. That's all going to Lady Celine. She can deal with the temple. She can deal with the orb. No longer his problem.
When you draw, like, her eyes light up like it's a lollipop, and she's like, "Oh, go do whatever you need." Like you're like almost like you're not even there anymore. She's just focused on the belt.
Like Jarek gave her a treat. Jarek in his mind.
You go, Lady
Yes,
Celine.
placated her for now.
It's almost like a completely different, like, up until this point, all day yesterday, she was calm and collected and serene. You hand her the belt, and it really is like a kid in a candy store.
Right.
And then I assume that in the wee hours of the morning, she's studying that, and you're setting up a ritual. This is going to be an interesting thing to wake up to.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It just.
Wait, where is
Oh,
he doing
you
this?
two are here. What the shit?
Is he doing? Wait, he's doing this at the safe house, or?
Uh-huh.
Is he,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
See, if there's no one in the bedroom
Oh,
other than
God.
the girl, this would have been better, Scooty.
No, there's
no.
someone in the bedroom.
The only room that is uninhabited at the moment was the big dining room you guys talked about before. And if you need, Lady Celine will even help you move the table.
Jarek will consent to this. He reckons.
And surprisingly, it might be interesting to note out that you guys aren't exactly the quietest, banging open a door, and yet no one wakes up. Apparently, everyone is rather heavy sleepers.
Jarek, like,
In fact, you hear snoring, but you're not sure from who or what room.
Okay, I'll go along with this.
Okay.
Although I like to think Cullimore is paranoid about his family safety.
You know what? Okay, then you know what? I will let you. Yeah, you know it's only fair. Let you roll to see if it does wake you up.
Sure.
So just roll your.
I won't break the role play. I just
Right. No, but you're absolutely right. It is fair to at least. It's not fair to at least say no. No one woke up. Give me. Just give me a straight D20 check. I don't even know what stat that would be. Constitution.
got 10. Got half.
Yeah, that's a no.
It's a no.
Yeah, because I was gonna say 11 or higher, 10 or below.
Okay.
So.
That's fine.
Lady Celine like bangs the table against the floor. Like Jarek gives her a sour look.
People are trying
No, actually, no. She, on the other hand, is incredibly quiet, and that's that. She got in the house without a sound. So, if anyone's being the loud one, it's the man who busted open the door.
I didn't bust open the door. Knock doesn't require I bust open the door. Knock
Oh.
required- yeah.
Oh well, then
They
never
said they
mind.
opened it
So
very
then
stealthily.
no one's making any noises, and we're fine. Okay,
Alright.
then we're good. All right. And then around 7 a.m., Keen is going to knock on the door. Is anyone up by that time, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Okay,
what-
then I'll just start whenever people start waking up.
I think Finn, whenever he wakes up, would walk out, see Lady Celine and Jarek, and then kind of sleepily like sit down wherever there's room and like kind of like nod acknowledgement and then just kind of zone out. He's not a morning person.
Lady Celine is in the kitchen, and you hear noises like dishes and stuff clattering. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what Jarek is doing. He'll have to.
Jarek is rolling his eyes at the noises of Lady Celine and snorts derisively in acknowledgement at Finian as he begins to like a simple.
And the silver dust goes here, and where do I put the holly? Oh,
You should put it on your head. Finn just stares, kind of laughing, like, heh, heh, heh.
Jarek
I made
lowers
it
his eyes.
funny.
Jarek like swivels his eyes so that he's glowering menacingly, like dark, like the sickly green light kicks in behind the eyes.
That's the Jarek we know and love.
Finn gets up and sits on the other side of the room.
Light dies down.
so the holly now I spread the spread.
All right. Cullimore and Carla would get up before the daughters, and I'm sure Carla was wondering what the hell you guys are doing to her kitchen.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a good time to suggest that he, the daughters, and Sky go back to their actual house. Now that the
I will say that when Carla goes into the kitchen, you hear like a shriek, a
Oh, boy.
dismayed shriek.
All right, coming out with a knife, and then okay, we're good.
You go into the kitchen and you find that it is quite a mess, and Lady Celine is covered in batter, and she is standing over a
Did
mixing
you get deep
bowl.
fry herself?
Yeah, she's covered over a mixing bowl, and she's muttering to herself, "No, that's not right. I know I can do this." And then she looks up and she's like, "Oh, hello."
Cole bursts through the door.
And she's like,
Everything's
"Oh,
fine.
I didn't
think,
wake anyone,
I don't
did
know
I?"
what we're doing here, but you're making a mess.
She looks at you guys, looks at the bowl, and for the first time you've ever seen her, she looks sheepish and goes, "Making breakfast?"
Oh God. Oh. God. Yep, right back down in the gutter, Lady Celine. All right.
And behind her,
Opinion
you
only,
see,
yeah.
despite the mess that is everywhere, you see a fiddle who is still clean
God.
as can be, saying, "I'm sorry, Mr. Cullimore, I tried to tell her not to, but when she gets these ideas in her head."
Uh-huh. Well, I don't, Lady Celine. I'm sure you didn't make enough for everybody. So, how about we all? I'll have Carla and the kids head off home, and we'll have breakfast here and figure out the next steps.
From the living room.
Gonna need you to keep the girl here. The mute one. Not your daughters.
Yeah. Oh no, this is not going well. All right. Pearson rubs the spot in between his eyebrows.
Cole
And
is
he's-
gonna go back into his room to fit himself with his armor.
Hey girls, guess what we're gonna have? We're gonna have breakfast upstairs in your bedroom. Yeah, just like the fairy tales. Okay, up you go. All right, they're having breakfast in.
And you hear very quietly, almost like you're not supposed to hear, you hear between Lady Celine and Carla, "Help me, please. I have no idea what I'm doing." And Carla basically helps Pearson like shove the girls upstairs, and then she's like, "I've got this."
All right, there's like a muttering interruption as Jarek says, "Hold on, I'll get the door." Like mage hands the door open.
Oh god.
He keeps
Come
talking.
in, Keenstorm Star.
This is like a fucked up sitcom. Guess who's coming for breakfast? Fucking Jarek. All right, Lady Goddamn Celine. Now keys through the door and everyone's applauding like when Kramer stepped through. Yeah.
I like to think that's how Cole entered the room. Crazy eyes sliding in.
Like Kramer. So does that make Keen Newman?
Yes. Whatever. Hi.
Stop this!
Welcome. Welcome to my stand-up.
Oh boy.
Call
Okay.
it Five Guys or some other stupid sitcom name.
Five guys in a ferry.
Fairy.
Oh.
Oh man! All right. By the way, the fairies are not with Lady Celine,
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's acceptable.
and she'll explain that they are resting.
Okay.
Okay, so the girls go upstairs. Carla takes over breakfast, and Lady Celine, who gratefully, yet somehow serene once again, even though she is a mess, says, "By the way, I could use some help. For anyone who's willing to help me, this magical belt is baffling me, but I think I have a way to figure out what it does."
Keen's, while she's saying this, slowly raises his hand.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I'll help. What do you need?
Lady Celine says, "Well, I'm going to put the belt around you, and we're going to see what happens."
Oh, joy!
Cole volunteers to be the person who has the belt wrapped around him.
Finn is just yawning and then kind of like his eyes are sort of drooping closed.
Jarek's
My
pulling out
fault.
schematics of like how the proper trigonometry of the circle.
Who wants the belt?
Cole is eager to be the test subject.
Oh, then for the
Okay.
love of God, let Cole do it.
King was
Do
like,
it.
Cole, you seem more interesting.
All right, Lady Celine will nod appreciatively and then fit the belt around your waist and step back quickly.
Oh,
As
wonderful.
almost as she expects something to happen, and nothing happens.
Cole is darting his eyes around the room.
And after a few minutes where nothing has happened, she looks around. She actually gets a bit of a pout. And she goes, well, that didn't work. And she tries to remove the belt. And then she tries again. And then she tries again a little bit more frantically. And then she tries again, and she stops and she goes, well, it does look lovely on you. And then she walks away.
Okay, Lady Celine rules this entire fucking city, right?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Oh, God.
mostly. There are many dukes and duchesses. She is considered the most powerful one, but it is not exactly completely under her control.
Yeah, that's why Jared's gonna be moving back to Coalhaven pretty damn soon. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, hey, do they take refugees? Do they take refugees in Coalhaven?
You know, useful people always have a place in Coalhaven.
You know,
Oh, good.
it should be pointed out though that White Bridge, it is well known, is one of the most prosperous and best run cities in the Freelands, even if it is not quite apparent at the moment how that might be.
Lady Celine just delegates all the authority. That's clearly what she's doing here.
Clearly the
Clearly.
food making and the belt fitting. All right, anyway.
Maybe she
All
just
right.
is a savant.
Oh.
She's something. All right. Anyway.
All right,
Poor lady.
so yeah, go about your businesses.
So I guess the
Cole
next
will be struggling with the belt to see if he can get it off of him.
You cannot get it off.
Alright, he's going to take a blade to it.
It does absolutely nothing.
Oh.
Well,
Apparently a belt made out of human femurs does not respond to a blade.
Yeah, we don't know they're human. We just know they're small femurs. They're about each femur is about 3 inches long, and they're connected end to end.
Cold
And
femurs.
And Lady Celine says, "I do know at least that it won't harm you in any way. Just get attached to it. If you truly wish, I will try to find a way to remove it." But she doesn't really sound very hopeful about it.
Well, that's fun. We now have another quest that we can do. Remove the belt from Cole.
Okay. Let's do one thing at a time, I suppose, and we should all confer as to what is the best first course of action.
Lady Celine will look a little bit at Jarek and say, a little too loudly, "Gee, that's an interesting thing you're doing there."
Yep, sure is, lady. Lady.
got a little Vegeta on there.
Anyway.
Well, if I handle
Yeah.
it's a 47.5 degree angle.
Okay. Well, should we ask? Should we ask? Okay. Jarek, what are you doing with my kitchen?
Oh, no, I looks up. No, this is actually not your kitchen, this is your living room. Right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. What are you doing with my living room?
Right. Gonna help the girl. The mute one, not one of your daughters.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Well, you let us know when you're ready to get her, and we'll bring her down. This isn't gonna hurt her, is it?
Jarek's like, he blinks and says, "You survived me hardening your body, yes? Yes. So did Cole. So, yes, this will work."
Oh. Okay.
Best
Okay.
logic.
That's not what he
Okay.
asked you, but okay.
Yeah, that. You know what? I don't. Cullimore doesn't know what to make with this guy. Sometimes Jarek is cool, and he gets things done, and he's effective, and he doesn't talk too much. All pluses. Then he does shit like this, and you're just like, oh.
Cole
he's not
will
talking.
wander.
I know. It's a double-edged sword.
Cole will walk over to Jarek, pelvic thrust at him, and say, "Can you get this off?"
Without even looking, Jarek says, "Good job. You decided to wear the belt of femur bones. Hope you're all right with that."
Can you get it off?
Lady Celine actually looks up a bit hopefully.
Jarek says, "If the lady
of this entire city, the most prosperous city in all of Ardenfell, cannot remove that belt from you. Neither can I.
She actually responds, can't? No one said can't. Just hasn't. Yet. Found a way to do it. Like, she keeps in, like, halted speech. Hasn't. Yet found a way to do it.
Okay, is there any benefit to the belt, or is it just kind of a thing now?
You do know that the belt, at the moment, you do know the belt gives you the regular bonuses that a magic belt gives you.
I have zero idea what that does.
Hang on a second. I will pull up the magical items handout. And the default bonus for belts and girdles is recoveries per day. You get +1 recovery.
Cool.
So you get that at least. And you don't know yet what else you get.
You could also start a gang called the Bone Fuckers.
However, I will say this. Give me a second. I will go ahead and start. I will go ahead and give you the quirk, because that you would kind of start feeling immediately-ish.
Okay.
But I gotta look that up. So, guys,
Jarek says,
Well, I'm sure it must have been important enough for it to be in Father Marion's particular chamber. I'm sure it'll prove a benefit, particularly if Lady Celine thought it would. She wouldn't have put on anything harmful. After all, she wants us to continue helping the city of Whitebridge. Now, if you please, the architecture of this is a little important. I'd rather not permanently incinerate this entire house.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Let's let Jarek do what he does.
Cole
I'm almost
will
done.
now recede his pelvis.
Okay.
At the mention of incinerate. Oh.
No, not really.
Pearson will notice that Finn is kind of sleeping where he is sitting/standing, but figured he won't wake him up until the ritual starts. Let him get as much shut-eye as he needs.
which should take place as soon as Squee gives you your belt information.
Yes, hang on a second, because the quirk in the book sucks, so I'm going to have to make another one. I will get it to you later. The quirk in the book is just uninteresting and completely would not fit your character, and no. Wouldn't fit any character, honestly. All right, so, yeah, you guys want to just go ahead and get to... Sky wakes up, and she comes out and blinks her eyes and looks around.
And, oh, God, Cullenware is not good at comforting, when it's not his kids, at least. Maybe we'll have he'll explain to Carla the importance of this, a ritual to try to help her as much as possible and help us to get answers, and to ask Sky if she could help us and do what Jarek asks of her. It shouldn't take long and it shouldn't hurt her.
She looks around confused and then nods.
Okay. We have consent?
Uh-huh.
If you could sit cross-legged inside of the concentric circle rings for me, please. This should not take very long. Jarek flashes a disarmingly attractive smile.
Oh, God. What? Oh, Jesus.
She actually is not fazed by the smile at all. Just has a neutral expression, and she does exactly as she's told.
Thank you. Now, if... well, this isn't exactly... I've never tried this before, but... well, that's it. For those of you unfamiliar, for those who explain, for those who never formed magic, the world operates on a set of laws. Magic bends those laws in the case of the rituals that I perform, such as the one that you saw within the cult temple that I made to discomfort enemies. Rituals can break the rules of this world. The world doesn't particularly enjoy itself being broken, so these have a tendency to not work well in succession, which means that when I say I've never done this before, that's great.
Lady Celine actually nods the whole time as if like
Cole is also nodding.
like she's like he's preaching to the choir kind of thing.
Excellent. Now
like furrows his brows and like, I suppose I'll give this a try. And he'll give it a try.
Okay.
I have no idea how the hell this is going to look. We'll
Roll
wait
a
and see whether
30.
it's success or failure first.
And she turns into hell incarnate.
Okay. Well, it does succeed. In
We'll
the
say,
way
like-
that I will let it succeed. Yeah.
Silvery like shines from like the silver dust, and then just like then like little shadowy shapes appear in the light and start spinning around the circle with like a haunting, like sonorous, like a collection of like, melodious voices that just like blend in together. But it stops suddenly, and Drake said,
I thought that would go on longer. I don't understand magic.
but he goes,
I probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
No, you shouldn't have, Jarek.
Cole, if you look at Cole, he's just sitting there and just pointing at you.
Jarek furrows his brows and then looks over to the girl and says,
Why don't you try saying something for me, like, what is your name?
She looks confused and she opens her mouth and nothing happens. But then she gets a strange look on her face and she closes her eyes for a second, and then you hear it's kind of weird, almost ghostly. It almost like echoes into how to describe this. It echoes before and then you hear the word and kind of echoes after, but it's one word and it's just like sky. And it's a very ghostly, ethereal voice that just kind of everyone hears, even though she doesn't actually say anything.
Jarek flashes the disarming smile again and says,
Sky, a lovely name.
And then you hear another, again, the same ghostly thing, and it's just confused.
Jack says, I am not exceptional with working with living individuals, nor am I really with any sort of restorative magic at all, and it's not exactly what I was taught. However, I have given you, I have no idea how long it'll last, a permanent means of vocally communicating, albeit very brief. The spell used in the incantation for the ritual was not powerful. Suffice to say, one-word answers.
Again, ghostly voice. Forever?
Jarek looks at Lady Celine, shrugs, and says,
Rituals have a tendency of breaking the laws of the world.
Lady
Forever.
Celine nods and says, and that was a rather powerful ritual. My guess would be for a very long time, if not forever, yes. And then after a few moments you hear the same ghostly voice, thank you.
Dirk said, all right, that was two. Maybe I'm better than what I thought it was.
And then she actually spins around and goes up to Pearson and Carla, and again you hear, thank you. And I'm still trying to find a way, because I want you guys to understand it. It's almost like it's thank you, and it goes away again, like a ghost speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Pearson has never seen anything like this before. He's actually kind of stunned for once, and all he can do is really just say a simple "You're welcome." It's genuine, but he's just like, "Holy shit!" Okay. Ooh. Wow.
And and she nods, and that's that. She can speak in one-word responses, questions, and answers.
1 to 2.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little bit lenient, but yes, generally speaking, one word, one idea, one thing. No complete sentences.
Mhm.